앞으로 도시라는 것의 경쟁력을 다시 한번 정의하면서 좀 더 포괄적으로 보신다면 그런 부분들, 그러니까 예를 들면 살고 싶고 문화가 있고 혹은 사람들이 원하는 미래의 모습을 담아내는 이러한 것들로 연구가 좀 더 확장되었으면 하는 그러한 생각을 말씀드립니다. 그다음에 제가 그 웬디 슐츠 교수님께는 한 가지 질문을 드리고 싶습니다. 저는 사실은 미래를 보기 위해서 지금 보신 것처럼 기술을 추적하는 방식은 대단히 유효하다라고 생각을 합니다. 하지만 기술뿐이 아니라 그 미래를 변하게 하는 데는 정치, 경제, 사회라든가 환경 혹은 다른 인간의 변화 같은 다른 부분들도 있습니다. 이런 부분에 관한 연구는 어떻게 진행하고 계시는지 여쭙고 싶습니다.
Dr. Schultz, the question is addressed to you. Would you respond?
Thank you for asking me that question. I couldn't have asked a better question myself. Yes, normally what we do is spend a great deal of time balancing the potential emerging issues in society, in culture, in design, in the arts, and to some extent, what I was presenting, there were as many ideas drawn from the design side, literally artists, sculptors, architects, as there were from more hard science technology. I admit this presentation was very focused on science and technology because this is the Global Innovation Forum. But having said that, innovation comes from many sources, and this gets back to the idea of blur and the fact that truly competitive cities, truly innovative, creative cities that are both hotbeds of new ideas that potentially create new markets and new opportunities for entrepreneurs, usually are also places that are hotbeds of culture, both in the high culture sense of the arts, but also in terms of diversity. And one of the issues that came up periodically was the still competitive nature, to some extent, of the United States with regard to its science, technology, its development, its entrepreneurialism, its patents. Really? Cincinnati, highest in patents? I'm still amazed by that. But part of it has to do with the fact that the US, the UK, a lot of the cities that, a lot of the countries that were rated as very competitive have a huge influx and outflow of immigrants who bring with them different cultural perspectives, and they bring with them automatically new paradigms, new ways of looking at things. They question boundaries. Sometimes that's very difficult, and it causes conflicts and tensions in communities that challenge local governments. But a lot of times they also bring in new forms of art, new forms of design, new ways of asking questions that really also contribute to the intellectual and innovative richness of those cultures. So one of the issues, and a very long time ago when I was a grad student working on science and technology policy, one of the things we were looking at was the difference between the then closed, centrally planned economies of Eastern Europe and the then Soviet Union and Western Europe and the United States in terms of patents, innovations, entrepreneurial activity. And one of the hypotheses at the time was that you had less scientific creativity because you had less scientific communication. And the scientific and intellectual communities in those closed societies were less able to basically bounce ideas off of each other and to create blur and cross-disciplinary perspectives and to get artists talking with scientists. And if there was one thing that I would suggest a community do is get your artists talking to your scientists, because they have fascinating discussions and often they contribute to not only new projects in art, but also interesting new ideas in science. There is actually, if I restrained myself from telling you more about theory in future studies, but there is a particular school of thought in future studies called integral futures. And it borrows from the works of Ken Wilber on the perennial philosophy, and one of his critiques of a lot of Western-derived positivist empirical science is that it's very big on what can be observed and counted. And that's valuable, and we appreciate what it's given us. But it tends to discount or have a hard time handling those real aspects of life that have to be intuited, or that have to be explored qualitatively, such as culture and values. So one of the issues about integral futures is to say every time we do a future study, every time we think about change, we need to not only look at what we can count, but also what we need to explore in other ways by participant observation, by dialogue. And that's why one of the things that I said in my presentation is what we can count is not all that we are. We are more than that. Having said that, again, very valuable to have all those facts and figures when you're trying to compose strategy, but you're right, you do have to look at both sides. So thank you for asking that question, and let's get more artists involved in this conversation.
Okay. I'm so sorry, but I have to close the floor because we seem so tired, and it's almost 20 after 4 o'clock. As a conclusion, before wrapping up the session, I want to say just one comment. It's said that the collaboration beyond the competition. So nowadays, everybody is talking about competitiveness, but more important thing is collaboration between countries, between urban areas, and between industries. So what I'm saying is competition without collaboration is terrible. It's very terrible. So, for example, we 5 years ago we talked about Peseto. It is a cooperation or collaboration among Be means Beijing, and Se means Seoul, and To means Tokyo. It's a Peseto. But it's not easy. It's not on the way now as we expected. So it is my idea. It's a win-win competition. It's a more oxymoron or a paradox, but it's very important thing to conclude before I wrap up the session. Thank you very much for all the participants and the speaker, really outstanding speakers, and our distinguished nominated first consultant, and most of all the participants for being here throughout this afternoon. Thank you very much, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen. Thank you
네,
very much.
연사분들과 좌장님 또 패널리스트분들께 큰 박수 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다. 네, 그럼 이것으로써 글로벌 이노베이션 포럼 2010 모든 공식 순서가 끝났습니다. 바쁘신 와중에도 오랜 시간 자리를 지켜주신 모든 참가자분들께 감사의 말씀드리겠습니다. So thank you very much. With this, we got all the setting ended for the Global Innovation Forum 2010. Thank you very much for your participation. 네, 그러면은 이것으로써 글로벌 이노베이션 포럼 2010 공식 순서를 모두 마치고 끝내도록 하겠습니다. 저는 진행의 김정선이었습니다. 감사합니다.